As Naruto fans, we all remember that iconic final battle of Naruto versus Sasuke, which saw the duo, they lost their arms as a result of the Rasengan versus Chidori clash, but in the aftermath of the battle, after both of them had recovered, we saw Sasuke leave the Hidden Leaf Village as a pardoned man, put on probation for his crimes, with the probation being at the discretion of whoever the sitting Hokage is, and lasting for a lifetime at that. And during the next decade plus, Sasuke would go through the ninja world on his redemption journey, where he would both protect the ninja world from afar, as well as look into the origins of groups like the Akatsuki, look into the histories and members of the Akatsuki that we would meet in the second part of Naruto's manga, and he would eventually begin looking through Kaguya's dimensions. Sasuke was on a journey of self-discovery. However, much of that journey had happened off screen because Naruto Shippuden's anime ended so abruptly and didn't animate all the stories that followed the end of the Fourth Ninja War, in that time period that Naruto fans like to call the blank period, which is why in today's newest edition of After Naruto Shippuden, we're going to be taking a look at that time, or towards the end of Sasuke's redemption journey, right before he decides to return to Konoha. Sasuke took it upon himself to save an entire ninja village. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, After Naruto Shippuden is a series here on the channel where we take a look at the stories and events that take place in the timeline between Naruto chapter 699 and chapter 700, where there's a 14-year time skip where many of these stories were either not animated into the Naruto Shippuden anime, like the story of, say, Naruto visiting Zabuza and Haku's graves before he became Hokage and hunting down rogue ninjas as part of a two-man team with Sai, or they weren't fully animated if they were lucky enough to get an anime adaptation. And in some cases, with quite a few of these stories, quite a few key aspects of the stories were changed in the Naruto Shippuden anime adaptation, hence this title. This playlist is called After Naruto Shippuden. In the story for today's video, this one falls more into the latter category, where aspects of the story that were changed by the Shippuden anime's adaptation. During this part of the timeline, Naruto and Hinata are already married, and there has been a failed assassination attempt on Gaara in the Sand Village, and Temari and Shikamaru, they've already gotten married as well. And Temari is expecting the birth of Shikadai soon after the events of this story occurs. Sasuke is on his way as part of a mission on behalf of Kakashi to the Land of Lightning, and is making his way through the border area between the Land of Hot Water and the Land of Frost so that he can make it to the Cloud Village before the deadline Sasuke set for himself to gather the intel that Kakashi requested. It's during this time that Sasuke, as he's moving through the mountains, finds himself suspicious about a village that he's looking at, and before he takes another step into the village, he cuts his Sharingan on to survey the layout of the village by using it to read the area, since Sharingan can see chakras of color, and he's looking for any signs of people who have chakra levels higher than normal civilians, or looking for the remote hint that there's some sign of a rogue ninja in the area. It's during this point, after finding something suspicious, that Sasuke briefly engages in combat with a pair of shinobi, albeit he himself was not the aggressor, and was attacked until they recognized his Sharingan eye, and they immediately stood down because they realized they're fighting the real Sasuke Uchiha, the last survivor of the Uchiha clan. After Sasuke hears about the rogue ninjas moving through this area, being the second set of fools in this timeline to use this name to generate fear in ninja villages, that the descendant of Madara Uchiha was the one leading a terrorist group, Sasuke, for the second time in a year, is once again stepping out of the shadows to eliminate a new threat and clear his name, because people misusing his name in this way to only further their own ambitions, and by them misusing his name, it only further serves to undermine all the good deeds that he's done while on this redemption journey and trying to prove himself as being worthy of being spared by Naruto and Kakashi. Unlike the last time where Sasuke at first ignored the person leading a terrorist group using his name until they attempted to kill a feudal lord, which ultimately led to Sasuke leaving his tree to go begin looking into what he needed to hunt down. This time he's determined to stop things before they get even further out of their hand and gather intel, and realizing this group is likely targeting the village on the Frost Village border, Sasuke decides to lay here and wait. With the scene in the context being set, it's here I'll begin reading the selected scenes from the Sasuke Sunrise story, which for those of you guys who are curious, because so often people say where are the sources, always check the description box. That way you can read the stories via the official release, and you can also help support the channel as well. I have affiliate links for every story I talk about. So it's here I'll begin reading the selected passages from this section of the story, and then I'll come back to you guys my thoughts, and it's here I quote, "He was naturally annoyed at someone using his name however they please. But more than that, the fact that people out in the world doing evil were openly respectful of him shot a shadow of gloom into Sasuke's heart. The shadow was dark and heavy. It never ended. Now that his name had been brought into it, he couldn't say that he had nothing to do with it anymore. It was also the fact that this group was violent with many victims, and this village was exposed to that terror. He couldn't exactly walk away from this village. The reason Sasuke was on his journey was to atone for his sins after all. The old Sasuke, he would have passed quickly through this village. This wasn't his concern. He would have just gone straight to the Land of Lightning and not gotten involved. He would have left these people to fend for themselves. However, he wasn't the old Sasuke anymore. "I suppose there's rooms here. Use one if you want. I'm really counting on you," Io said, as if to drive home the point. His eyes showed that he was certain his village would be attacked again. Hidden deep into those eyes that Sasuke looked into with his Sharingan, he saw a darkness in the old man. A darkness that sought punishment for the group that killed the man's daughter. Even though he was going to help resolve the incident, Sasuke had no intention of lending a hand to any type of revenge. Although Io likely wouldn't accept that, he was too set on revenge, blood for blood. Instead of answering the old man, Sasuke went into the room he had been given. Elsewhere, in a small village in the mountains, houses were destroyed. People cruelly forced to breathe their last breaths. Only the animals that caught the scent of the freshly spilled blood were lively. A man with bluish purple hair, tied back, bounced a ball off the blood-soaked corpse on the floor smiling. Sasuke Uchiha, the sole survivor of the proud Uchiha clan. So he's nearby. He chuckled softly and jumped down from the table before throwing the ball against the corpse again. "My heart's teacher, the man who showed the world the terror and the wonder of the Kekkei Genkai, Sasuke Uchiha. That I would get the chance to kill him is a dream come true." A delight came across his face as he shouted to his subordinates to march towards the village that Sasuke was resting in. End quote. Now, this is where it does get interesting. So, in particular, Sasuke's change in mentality. But before we do that, I want to highlight how this fight ends up going down because it shows exactly what Sasuke meant when he talked about the old Sasuke versus the new Sasuke. These are some of our first signs that we're seeing the Sasuke you see in the Boruto era, the one that is more compassionate and more aware of the fact that he holds innocent people's lives in his hands. So when Sasuke does end up fighting this small army of rogue ninjas led by their leader who has a lava release Kekkei Genkai and has studied the bingo book of info that Danzo provided to all the nations big and small back when Sasuke was a rogue ninja, we see Sasuke put in work of a devil here once these people start killing the innocent people in the village that he was resting in. After hearing the cries of women being slain, Sasuke uses lightning release with just enough power to take out several men at once. He's using Sharingan Genjutsu to not just knock guys unconscious, but he's leaving them foaming at the mouths with the level of genjutsu he's using. He's giving them brain rot basically. He's taking out several people back to back using Sharingan Genjutsu and illusions, and he's using everyday house items that he's finding in the village to knock out others, including at one point bamboo that is just laying around. When he goes to meet the leader of this small army to fight him, Sasuke notes that the guy is indeed skilled and that the guy had an attack plan to fight Sasuke, taking advantage of the lava release against Sasuke's lightning release jutsu, since his lightning release doesn't work on the rubber of the lava release. But even while holding back, Sasuke is beginning to get worried that the damage from the fight might destroy the village, and he's having to hold back even further because the guy fighting him is pushing Sasuke into giving a huge handicap, because he's also using women and old men and old women as human shields in order to prevent Sasuke from using his full power, or even half of his full power, because he knows Sasuke won't harm any innocent people. He's basically trying to make Sasuke fight with both hands tied behind his back. However, unbeknownst to him, Sasuke had been using his Sharingan the whole time, memorizing the guy's attacks and his attack patterns, and even though he can't copy the lava release Kekkei Genkai because he doesn't have the Kekkei Genkai for it, Sasuke's already broke down the jutsu, found a weakness in the attack, and once he exploits it, the guy gets one shot by Sasuke without Sasuke having to do any more damage to the village or the innocent people in the area. He's using just enough force to not kill the guy, and it goes back to his conversation he had earlier with the old man Io. You already see some of Sasuke's maturity here. A man whose eyes are stated to be able to see the heart of others. He saw that the old man who lost his daughter to this group of rogue ninjas wanted revenge, and Sasuke himself knows all too well that revenge can lead to someone doing something where they go into darkness they won't be able to pull themselves out of. he had no problem defending this village and stopping this group that was marching on the village, but he refused to kill and be part of someone else's blood feud, no longer wanting to get caught up in petty things like revenge. Otherwise, it would dishonor the various sacrifices that Naruto and Kakashi made when they used up all their political capital in order to get Sasuke a pardon. The other thing that stands out here is that Sasuke, he's very annoyed that despite everything that he's done to make up for his past, there are those who not only took up Madara's will to bring about change to the ninja world, only using force and also using his name while doing so, but they did so because in the short time period where he was aligned with the Akatsuki, he earned a reputation in the underworld that he couldn't shake off even this far removed from the 4th Ninja War. There were those who still saw him as the same Sasuke who invaded the Cloud Village and attempted to murder the 8-tailed Jinchuriki Killer Bee. The same Sasuke who killed dozens of samurai during the 5 Kage Summit. The same Sasuke who fought and injured a few Kage during the Kage Summit, including killing a named Hokage in Danzo. The same Sasuke who started the war on the side of the Akatsuki. The same Sasuke who word got out that he attempted to kill the 5 Kage after Kage was defeated before Naruto ultimately stopped him. Despite everything he's done, these people still associated him with Madara and Obito. Almost 1 year ago in the timeline, one group of rogue Anbu used disgusting tactics to mimic Sasuke's appearance, and they attempted to kill political figures in the ninja world in the hopes of starting another war so they could control the war economy, all while planting fear in the hearts of people that Sasuke had once again gone evil. Now, a year later, these people were massacring villages, and they were using Sasuke's name to do so because, as we saw at Madara, fear, in particular fear of the name, it is a very strong power. The leader of this group that's coming for Sasuke, he knows that Sasuke's trying to redeem himself. He just doesn't care. And the idea of being known as the man who killed the mighty Sasuke Uchiha, even for as suicidal as this mission was, he's crazy enough to try and take on the hardest mission since the Waterfall Village asked Kakuzu to kill Prime Hashirama. Only in this case, he thinks by using human shields that he has a chance against Sasuke, which if you're curious about more of what happens after Naruto Shippuden, you want to click this playlist on the right for more lore videos like this one of stories that you didn't see in the anime or you didn't see properly adapted into anime, or you can click here on the left for a video from my Anime Explained channel where I talk about other anime and manga besides Naruto and Boruto.